Hey everyone, and welcome back to CodeAccessHub. We're the channel that breaks down complex tech and makes it super simple for everyone. Now, if you're in the crypto space, you've probably had that moment, that frustrating feeling when a trade just doesn't quite execute the way you expected. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the biggest and most invisible reasons why that happens. So let me ask you this. Have you ever placed a trade and the price you got was just a little bit worse than what you saw on the screen? It's so easy to just chalk it up to a volatile market, right? But what if I told you there's an invisible hand that could be systematically reaching into your wallet on almost every trade? On Wall Street, there's this thing called front running. It's where a broker uses their insider knowledge of a client's upcoming trade to make a quick buck for themselves. And it is absolutely 100% illegal. But in the world of DeFi, something very, very similar is happening every single second. Except here, it's widespread, it's incredibly profitable, and it's called MEV. All right, so let's get right into it. What exactly is this invisible tax that seems to be everywhere? Let's define MEV.
MEV stands for Maximal Extractable Value. Now, it used to be called Minor Extractable Value, but the core idea is exactly the same. You see, MEV isn't some kind of bug or glitch in the system. It's actually a fundamental feature of how most blockchains work. Someone, somewhere, has to decide the order of transactions within a block. And that power, the power to order, include, or even exclude transactions, creates a massive economic opportunity. It's pure profit, made on top of the usual block rewards and gas fees. And here's the kicker. That profit is coming directly from users, like you and me.
And we are not talking about small amounts of money here. The scale is just staggering. Since 2020, MEV Bots have siphoned off over $1 billion in profit. That's a billion with a B. And that's across major blockchains you use every day, like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Solana. So yeah, this is not some niche little problem. It's a massive, highly sophisticated market that's humming along just beneath the surface of everything you do in DeFi. So how in the world does this actually happen? How do they do it? Well, let's open up the MEV attack playbook. The most common, and probably the easiest strategy to wrap your head around, is called a sandwich attack. And yeah, a sandwich attack is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. An attacker's bot spots your pending trade, and it literally wraps it between two of its own transactions. One goes right before yours, that's the front run, and the other goes right after, that's the back run. The goal is dead simple, to manipulate the price for their benefit, and it all happens at your expense. Let's walk through the anatomy of this attack. So imagine our user, let's call him Alex, wants to place a pretty large buy order. An MEV bot, we'll call her Eve, sees Alex's transaction waiting in the Mempool, which is kind of like a public waiting room for transactions. Eve instantly jumps the queue by placing her own buy order for the same asset, but with a slightly higher gas fee to make sure she goes first. This front run pushes the price up just a little bit. Now Alex's trade goes through, but at this new, slightly worse price. And then, in a fraction of a second, Eve sells the asset she just bought, capturing that price difference she created. It's a perfect, risk-free profit for the bot, paid for entirely by Alex. But here's the thing. Getting sandwiched is just the beginning. MEV searchers have a whole bag of tricks. You've got arbitrage bots that exploit tiny price differences across different exchanges, making millions of tiny profits that add up. You've got liquidation bots that are constantly watching loans, just waiting for one to become under-collateralized so they can race to be the first to liquidate it and snag the reward. There are even some wilder, more theoretical strategies, like time-banded attacks, which could actually incentivize validators to go back and rewrite blockchain history. The main thing to get is that this is a deep, complex, and constantly evolving cat-and-mouse game. Now, I know this might all sound a bit theoretical, but the real-world impact on everyday traders is absolutely massive, and we've got the data to prove it. Just check this out. On a single day back in May 2023, sandwich attacks alone hit over a third, that's 35.5%, of all blocks on the Binance Smart Chain. We're talking about over $1.5 billion worth of trades getting impacted in just 24 hours. This isn't some rare freak event. It's a daily reality of the DeFi landscape. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty bleak, but the good news is you're not powerless here. It's time to talk about building your own personal defense plan. Here are some things you can do right now. First up, try to use wallets and platforms that have MEV protection built right in. Another huge one, pay attention to your slippage tolerance. If you set it really low, say between 0.1% and 5%, you give these bots way less room to play with. You can also look into privacy tools that route your transactions through private channels, hiding them from the prying eyes of public bots. It also doesn't hurt to avoid trading during those crazy peak hours when bots are most active. And a super important warning, you're going to see ads on social media for front-running bots that promise you insane returns. These are scams, every single time. They're just designed to drain your wallet, so please stay far, far away.
So protecting yourself is absolutely key. But what about fixing the problem at a deeper level? Well, the good news is the entire community is working on big, system-wide solutions to build a fairer ecosystem for all of us.
One of the most exciting ideas on the horizon is called Proposer-Builder Separation, or PBS. Basically, the idea is to split one big job into two smaller ones. You'd have a group of specialists called builders whose only job is to arrange transactions to create the most profitable block possible. Then, a totally separate validator, the proposer, simply picks whichever block offers the highest fee without ever touching the transaction ordering. This separation of powers is huge because it stops a single person or group from having too much control, which is the key to diffusing the most harmful kinds of MEV.
And this really leads us to the biggest question for the whole future of DeFi. MEV is born from information advantages and the power to order things. So as this amazing space continues to grow and mature, the central challenge is this. Can we design systems that actually align everyone's incentives, from users to validators to builders, to create a marketplace that's not just powerful and efficient, but one that's genuinely fair and transparent for every single person who uses it?
I really hope this explainer helped you understand the crazy, invisible world of MEV. If you want to go even deeper on topics just like this one, you can find all of our explainers over on our YouTube channel, CodeAccessHub. And hey, if you got value out of this, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive. Thanks so much for watching.